Hello again, kids. Now we are going to move on to the page 45 of our topic 3 class for this term. If you enter to your Logcompass, then you click on topic 3, you will see this window. And now we are going to move on and choose grammar. When you click on grammar, you will see this page. The first thing we gotta do is follow the instructions on the point number 1. It says listen and follow. We are going to talk about modifiers for adjectives. To make an adjective stronger, to make an adjective weaker, when something is more than we want or like, and when something is less than we want or like, we are going to learn all those expressions. The first thing we see on this menu is a couple kids taking a picture with a cell phone. So let's listen to the audio file and then we will solve the questions.
Track 24.
It's a pretty bad photo. It's not clear at all.
Oh no, it's really blurry.
Let's try again. I'll make sure the sculpture is in the center. Oops, the sun's too bright.
Look at all these people. It's so crowded. We can't get close enough. Let's come back later. There's no one here now, but it's too dark, and the flash isn't working.
Forget it. Let's go home.
Okay, so as you saw, we had these two kids trying to take pictures, but they are not having a really good time doing so because sometimes it's blurry, sometimes there's too many people, and sometimes it's really shiny or bright, and some other times it's really dark. So let's go on the topic. To make an adjective stronger, we will use these words that you see in green: very, so, and really. In this first example, is very beautiful. We are making beautiful even stronger with the word very. So it's not only beautiful, it's very beautiful. So it's increasing the meaning of beautiful. Then we move on to it's so crowded. Crowded is when a place is full of people. When you go there and you feel the others are very close to you, you don't have much space to move, that's a crowded place. In these days with coronavirus crisis, we know we have to avoid crowded places. So if you see places where there are too many people, don't go there because you don't want to get infected. Now, blurry. Blurry is when something is not seen clearly. When a picture, like in this example, it's like not clear, we say it's blurry. But if we say it's really blurry, it's more than that. So it's extremely blurry. Yes, so really, so, and very make an adjective stronger. Make the word mean a little more than what it means normally. Then, to make an adjective weaker, that means not so strong, we say pretty, and then a bad adjective. In this case, it's a pretty bad photo. So we are making bad weaker. Weaker is not that bad, it's a little bit bad, yes? So that's what pretty is trying to make with the word bad. So if we say pretty annoying, it is something that makes us feel uncomfortable, but is not extreme. So it's a little weak, it's not so strong. So bad here, it's being decreased, is being lowered in meaning by the word pretty. Then, when something is more than we want or like, we say the word too, and then the adjective. For example, the sun's too bright. That means the light coming from the sun, it's much more than we want to have. So it's too much, it's extreme. We don't want that, we don't like it. So we say too. For example, when you have ice cream, I know you all love that, but if the ice cream has too much of a flavor or too much sugar, you say, oh no, this ice cream is too sweet. That means you want less sugar on that ice cream. If we say this food is so salty, is too salty, the word too is taking the salt to the extreme. It's more than what you want. This hamburger is too big. That means you wanted a smaller hamburger. Yes. Now, when something is less than we want or like, we can say enough in the end of the sentence. We say we can't get close enough. That means we wanted to be closer. They wanted to be closer to this sculpture, but they couldn't. You can see these type of things in the museums. Sometimes you want to get very close to the sculpture, to the exhibition, but you can't because there are some lines that avoid you to do it. Sometimes it is forbidden to get closer. Then you have to follow the rules and stay back. So, for example, we say the time at Disney parks was awesome, but it was not enough. Yes, so we couldn't be there long enough. That means we wanted to be there longer, but we couldn't. Yes, that's the way you modify adjectives. You can make them stronger, weaker. You can say that something is more than you wanted or less than you wanted. Then let's move down a little bit. We are going to see more instructions. It says read the comic, circle the modifiers, then listen and complete the sentences. Well, on this part of the comic, we know the comic is what they are giving us here. This is the first picture. If we want to highlight the modifiers, we say pretty. It's a modifier for the word bad. Then, really, it's modifier of blurry. In the next picture, we see, let's try again. I'll make sure the sculpture is in the center. Oops, the sun's too bright. The word too is the modifier. Then, look at all these people. It's so crowded. So is the modifier for crowded. We can get close enough. Enough is a modifier. Let's come back later. There's no one here, but it's too dark. That means it's darker than we want. And the flash isn't working. Forget it, let's go home. We don't have modifiers here. Okay, now let's continue with the next point. It says listen and complete the sentences. Let's listen and check what you answer.
Track 25.
So, did you take some photos of the new sculpture?
Hi, Dad. Yes, we did, but they aren't very good. Look.
Let me see. Oh no! You can't see your faces. That's so funny.
Yes, it was dark.
This one isn't dark, but it isn't very clear. I think the hands were moving.
I'm sure you'll get better. Well, this one's really clear, but you can't see the sculpture.
There were too many people.
Yes, I can see that.
You can see the sculpture in this one, but it isn't good enough. I want a perfect one of the new sculpture. Let's try again tomorrow.
Okay, so as you can see on this part, they say that's really funny, it isn't very clear, or this one is really clear, but you can see the sculpture. Then they say you can see the sculpture in this one, but it isn't clear enough. Yes, so those are the modifiers. that we need to use there. If let's check again the exact words that they say. I'm pretty sure it's what I said, but let's try again.
Oh, did you take some photos of the new sculpture?
Hi, Dad. Yes, we did, but they aren't very good. Look.
Let me see. Oh no! You can't see your faces. That's so funny.
Okay, on this part, the number one say that's so funny. So the modifier we put here is so.
Yes, it was dark.
This one isn't dark, but it isn't very clear.
Now, they just mentioned the modifier that we need to put here is very. The kids say it isn't very clear. So the word that we are going to put here is very.
I think my hands were moving.
I'm sure you'll get better. Well, this one is really clear.
As you can see there, the father mentioned the modifier really. This one is really clear, but you can see the sculpture. So the modifier we put here is really.
But you can't see the sculpture.
There were too many people.
Yes, I can see that.
You can see the sculpture in this one, but it isn't good enough.
And here, the kid just said good. You can see the sculpture in this one, but it isn't good enough. The modifier is enough, but the adjective is good. We put good here, and our exercise would be correct. Now it says read and discuss the problems. What situations could they describe? I'm too short, I'm not strong enough, it's too expensive, it's not big enough. Well, so you can do this exercise with a friend, with a brother, if they are close to you or if you want to participate online, but I recommend you to do it with a member of your family. So a brother or your mom or dad would be okay. Read and discuss the problems. What situations could they describe? So for example, I'm too short. When can we discuss something like that? In my opinion, we can talk about things that are difficult to reach, or a very familiar situation for you guys in third grade is that whenever you go to an amusement park, some rides like the Everest or at Universal Studios the Hulk, those are rides that require a certain height. So you have to be like 1.5 meters at least to be able to do it. And some kids have to go back and try other rides because they are too short. So whenever a person is too short, they can't go on that ride. Then, if it's too expensive, we can talk about, let's say, the latest iPhone. Some people love those articles a lot, but as you know, they are very expensive. For a person who can't afford, who doesn't have the money to buy an iPhone of the latest generation, they can say this: oh, I want the latest iPhone, but it's too expensive. Yes. So now let's try with I'm not strong enough or it's not big enough, and leave your comments below. When do you feel you're not strong enough, or when do you think something is not big enough? Yes, so let me see your comments below, and if you have any questions about the topic of the class, let me know. So blurry, when you can see something clearly; bright, when there is too much light, when something is really shiny or sunny; then clear, when something is easy to be seen or easy to discriminate or easy to recognize; then dark is when there is not enough light. Yes, the sculpture, it's a piece of art that is made of material. Yes, so well, I would say bye-bye for now. Let me know how you do on these exercises and check if your answers were correct.